This is Sid Hagen. You're listening to the Timo and Harley Show, and you better keep listening. I'll come over there and put my boot all up in your ass.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, back in the saddle, Harley. How the hell are you?
I'm back.
You're back.
Oh, I'm getting better, buddy. I'm getting better. I'm about half. I'm getting there, so.
You had a shitty lung. You had a lung with a lump of snot in it. Lump of snot. They call that pneumonia.
Yeah, it's terrible.
They call it pneumonia. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. All my right lung, my friend. So yeah, it had me down, Timo. It had me down and out.
Edge down. You missed the horror hounds.
You can't count me on.
Yeah, you missed the horror hounds.
I missed
all
the
of them.
horror hounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Friday the 13th part 2. You missed that reunion. You missed that, and you missed the Goonies reunion, which you could have taken from me at any moment. Not really a big Goonies guy. Did I tell you that I had to actually stand in line? Yeah. I stood in line for Sean Astin. Now, the thing is that Angio, her favorite movie is The Goonies, and she always had a crush on Sean Astin. So Angio, she could not make it as well. It was me and Bob. It was a sausage party, basically all weekend, because it was me and Bob, and little Ryan came. He crashed with us one night. We had a suite. I got a suite. I didn't even know I had a suite until we were there. Yeah. So a little sausage party. So we had Ryan there, and then Jerry from Synapse, our buddy, he came up a couple times and hung out with us a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but so they have this Goonies part. So one of your favorite flicks is Friday 13th part 2. Angie's favorite movie is The Goonies. You guys left me high and dry. You just left me high and dry, So with Roberto Slenderini with DVD Bob. So but actually our friend Sarah, who works with Dominic, agent extraordinaire. So I told Sarah, I said, this is going to be a fun weekend, and just kind of BSing with her a little bit. I think it might have been on Thursday or Friday, and I just said, it sucks. Angie's not here, and I said, Goonies is her favorite movie, and I kind of care less. I just never liked the Goonies. It's a mess to me. I don't understand why people love it, but anyway. And she was like, well, we'll have to get her some autographs. And I was like, that would make Angie happy. So the lovely and gracious Sarah helped set up some autographs for the lovely and gracious Angio. So that's a lot of lovely and graciousness going on around this kid right here. Let me tell you.
Exactly.
I'm saying, it's like Fragile Porcelain Mice's singer used to say, you get thrown out of an airplane and land at a pillow factory. You know that, Timo? So anyway, but ended up, and the thing is that Sean Astin, Angie used to have a crush on him. So how much trouble you think I give her whenever we see that dude on TV, knowing me? Oh yeah, right. I mean, it's all trouble the whole time. So I'm like, well, that's great. So she says, okay, well, we got this going. Go over there and get Sean. And she already got the guy, the Oriental guy that played, I guess, Data might have been his name. I don't know. Yeah. So she got his. Yeah, she got his. But Sean had, I guess, a little bit longer line. So she said, well, she's busy. Go over there and get Sean's. I was like, okay, cool. So I go and I stand in line. Now, Ben Harley, has Timo, I'm speaking in third person, so I'm getting snooty. Yeah. Right? Has Timo ever stood in a line for an autograph ever in his entire life? I mean, Carpenter, anybody. Have I?
No.
I don't think so. I did now. I did now. So I'm standing in line, and I hear people behind me, and they're going, man, that guy, he is talking up a storm. He stopped and made sure he talked to everybody for about 5 minutes. Sean Astin did. He didn't shoot people through. He didn't do nothing like that, which was awesome for the people standing there. For the people directly behind, you just stood there and just sweat bullets. Another VIP wouldn't cut in line in front of you. That's all you were sweating bullets. I was like two
Yeah.
people back and it was still like a half hour. Okay. So the people behind me, and one fellow looked really familiar. I think he might be a vendor. If he's not, he's a vendor pal. He's there at every show. I can't think. And this other couple. So they start talking about, standing in a line and doing this. And then one of them starts talking about, who was it? Some wrestler. I can't remember which wrestler it was. I started saying, me and you bring, I'm a vendor. We bring Rhino, and stuff. And I said, listen, I've never stood in a line in my life. This is awful. I feel sorry for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is terrible. So I get up to the front of the line and I was like, Sarah sent me over, to do this or whatever. And the gal goes, you didn't have to stand in line. Jesus Christ.
He said, now you tell me.
Then so I said, it's okay. And I truly didn't mean, it's okay. I didn't want to be the dick. I didn't want to be the guy, that did that or whatever. Then old Sean Astin, he kept me there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, not the whole 5, because I turned around and told the people, I'm getting this for my wife. Don't worry. I'm not going to stand there and talk to him forever. But he did. I did explain to him, my wife, she had a crush on you. You're kind of a joke in our house. And he started laughing. He's like, well, what should I put? And I said, anything you want. He's like, well, if I write down anything you want, I'm not sure you're going to be very happy with that if she had a crush on me, blah. So that was kind of funny. And then he makes you turn around when he signs something so you don't look. So he said, turn around. Yeah. And then, it was just something from the movie, but it was nice. He was a really nice fella. But it was kind of funny. Awesome, I finally stood in a line, and again, we'll never probably do that again that I can think of. I even had Angie O get Wilford Brimley's for me because I would stay at the line. But she was very happy, and thank you, Sarah, so much. She did not have to do that. Nice, yeah. She mentioned it. I do admit I pestered her a little bit after she mentioned it to make sure it happened. But that's only because I was leaving on Sunday, and usually things like that might happen on a Sunday.
Right. Yeah.
Me and you, Ben, we never bother people for these things ever.
No.
But once it was mentioned and it was for Angie and not for me, I did. And thank you, Sarah. Yeah. So thank you, Sarah, for putting up with me and doing that. And I did give her some Grape Ape. She was drinking a little bit of the Grape Ape, which is, I think, kind of a first for Sarah. So she was indoctrinated into the Grape Ape Club. Yeah. I was rolling it around. It was going around because Mandy was sitting with Natasha Henstridge sitting right there. And then Rachel was sitting with Daniel Harris.
Oh, Daniel Harris.
Yeah, she was sitting with Daniel Harris. So, of course, the lovely and attractive handlers were very, very open to my Grape Ape. The celebrities were terrified of me. They stayed away from me. Whatever juice I had.
As they should.
Yeah. Had a pretty decent time, though, Harley. We
Good. Yeah, I'm sad about the Friday 13th part.
I know. You missed Amy Steele and you missed Steve Dash. And a couple of those people did not hold up well in a frightening way, Ben Harley.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, but a couple of them did not hold up at all. But we even had a Mr. Gonzo crash in our room one night.
Oh, really?
And just wanted to tell you too, Harley, I picked up a movie with Gonzo in it that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. Believe it or not, Mr. Gonzo, Dr. Gonzo himself was guest starring in a film that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Let's get through some clerical works here stuff, Harley. I'm trying to get through this so I can let you. I know you're bottled up for a couple weeks. You haven't been on the show. You got things to tell people and stuff. So I'm going to try to get coming this. Last week, because Mr. Ben Harley was sick, he was ill with the pneumonias up in his lung. We had our good pal, Mr. DVD Bob, on the show. We were talking about some Blu-ray releases. I want to make some corrections, okay? After we did the show, I did indeed find 2 movies on Blu-ray that were, now these were imports. They were not American, so technically they're still not released here, but they are available somehow. 2 movies. One was Naked Prey, that is in a foreign region, and Road Games. And I already bought Road Games and I already have it. I
believe this.
So but I got it. And also we were talking about the Andy Griffith made for TV film Savages, where he's chasing a guy across the desert. Andy Griffith's the real dick in that movie. It's kind of like The Most Dangerous Game with Andy Griffith being the jerk. And and I thought it was Bruce Davidson in the young whippersnapper's role as being chased by Andy Griffith. Well, Bob, he corrected me. I was wrong. And he said it was Timothy Bottoms. Well, I'm going to correct Bob because he was wrong. It was Sam Bottoms, but he was closer than me. Yeah, it was Sam Bottoms. So I think he just misspoke a little bit, but I just wanted to make those corrections real quick. Sure. Also, real quick, a couple people passed. Ben Harley.
Yes.
Let's see here. First up, Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton was 91 years young, and he passed away. And hell of a. We all loved Harry Dean Stanton in some movie somewhere somehow. You all knew who he was. Yeah, we all did. So thoughts to his family and friends, and the film community has lost a tremendous actor. Always loved when he said, people ask, what his style of acting or what he does. He's like, I read the lines. He said, when people cast me, they don't cast me to be Harrison Ford. They cast me to be Harry Dean Stanton. Fair enough. Good point. Yeah. And then another one, Ben Harley, I know that you want to speak on too. We lost the greatest heel in professional wrestling history. We lost Bobby the Brain, the Weasel Heenan. And that's a tough one because he had some throat cancer about 10, 15 years ago, and he made it through that. And finally went to the wrestling ring in the sky. And I know you wanted to comment on that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I found out the other day, and I must say it did hit me kind of hard. A lot of times when I find out about, celebrities and stuff dying, a little part of my childhood, dies with it. You know what I mean? But this one really hit me kind of hard. I mean, I know he'd been sick, and it was hard for me even to see him in that state, because that guy's, his mouth made him millions. You know what I mean? That guy was so quick witted and just funny. But it really, it made me sad because, there's so many people out there and they're, and I'm going to get on my soapbox just for a second, but I promise it'll be short. But there's so many people out there that credit Hogan and all these other guys as, their reason for what they do and why they're wrestlers or, and I'm just so tired of hearing about Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. To me, and Bobby Heenan was a wrestler too. He was a wrestler. But to me, he was the greatest wrestling personality there's ever been. Now, there's other wrestlers and other people that I might like, a little bit more, but I don't know. I just think Bobby Heenan made a lot of the years of wrestling that I didn't really enjoy because of guys like Hulk Hogan. He made those years bearable for me because he was there. And when Flair came into the WWF, the first time when he had that year run, and it was Flair, Heenan, and Mr. Perfect. There's when Flair won the belt, I don't think I've ever seen a more real reaction out of guys than I did then. You could tell Bobby Heenan was just ecstatic. You could tell by the look on his face just how much fun those guys were having. And I believed it and I enjoyed it. But I'm sad. I don't think wrestling has been the same or will never be the same without the likes of him. Right. He just, he brought me a lot of joy and laughter over the years. And man, he was just good. He was good at what he did. And the thing about a guy like Bobby Heenan, he made everybody else around him better.
That's the key.
And
that's what, more than me, that's what a good manager is supposed to do. You're supposed to make the other guy look awesome.
Yeah. And he did that in spades, and that guy, I'm sad in a way because, I mean, there'll be some outpouring, of course, Vince McMahon, they'll do something, they'll have, but you know what? That guy to me was only once in a generation or once in a lifetime, a guy like him comes along. Right. And I just think he should have been thought of more, I guess, maybe, but you know what? We'll see. Right. We'll see. And it's just, I'm not going to speak too much more on it because I'm going to get emotional. Yeah. Never met the guy, would have been nice to, but just, you know what? I really enjoyed what he did. So,
well, and the thing is too, is that people passing away. I sometimes I feel on social media and stuff. People like post a picture with them, and it's almost like they want people to feel sympathy for them. And it's almost like, no, but there's a different kind of sadness where, like you said, a piece of your childhood, you grew up with this person while you're eating cereal in the morning on Sunday mornings, watching wrestling or doing something like that. And he just, you love to hate him. And he was so funny. Yeah. He was so funny that even when, because you know what? He was ridiculous. It was like he would say things that were just like, "You got me, come on, man." It's like he didn't even have a closed fist there, dude. What are you talking about? And he he just kept things moving, and he made WCW watchable when it was not watchable. He just really did, and it's just sad. It's just sad because it's not, like you said, you never met him, but he entertained the hell out of you for a while. And it's almost like you're now he hasn't been doing this for a long time, but it's just a reminder. It's like when someone like Toby Hooper died, it's a reminder you're not going to get another Texas Chainsaw from him or another Poltergeist or Funhouse or whatever. You're not going to get another one, at least out of him and stuff. So that's very acceptable and very understanding. I'm not going to ask for people to give me personal sympathy online or something, but it was and I think I told you too, I remember watching a pay-per-view and I believe the announcers were Vince McMahon, and then it was Bobby the Brain Heenan and Roddy Piper. God rest his soul too. And let me tell you something. I don't remember any of the matches, but I remember them two going at each other. Roddy Piper and him going at each other was one of the funniest 3 hours or however long the pay-per-view was. All I can remember by the main event, Roddy was simply calling Bobby boobs. It was okay, boobs. Okay, boobs. Like that. He's like, you can't call me boobs. What'd you call me? It was just so funny. So funny. It was good. But so thoughts and to his friends and family as well, including our friend Rhino, who I'm sure crossed paths with Bobby quite a few times. Sure. And Rhino's had a tough year, with all these things.
He has. Yeah, he really has. Yeah. And he's had, and it's nice because Rhino, there's so many good things are happening for him. So hopefully that, weighs out the negative things that have happened to.
Right. Well, wrestling's coming here in a few weeks, and I don't think he's on the card yet. I'm keeping an eye on it. I did talk to him a little bit, asked him, because if he's wrestling, I'm gonna go. I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle live, so I want to take a chance. If he's not, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for some time where I can see everybody wrestle. So again, so Harry Dean Stanton and Bobby the Brain Heenan are in the entertainment compartment in the sky, as we say. So
Bobby's up there managing Andre the Giant as we speak.
That's right. That's right. So let's see here. So we got that out of the way. Horror Hounds out of the way. Yes. Let's see. Next up, going to be at Vet CityCon, buddy, at the Corvette Museum. It's at the end of January. Look that up online. And speaking of Horror Hound, Ben Harley, I did pick up a movie at Horror Hound that I watched. No. Yes, sir, I did. This was the latest Brian Williams opus, Space Babes from Outer Space.
From outer space, yeah.
That could have been it could have been called Space Babes from Timo and Harley's Yard, because we did conquer space and claim it as our own. But
yes, we have.
Yeah, I think this takes place in an alternate universe where space is just generally owned by anything, But we shall press on. This movie has a special guest star, Gonzo. Gonzo's typecasted. Gonzo. That's right, typecasted as a adult dancing establishment patron, as a strip club patron. He's been typecasted once again. So kind of fun to see our good friend Mr. Look, here's the thing. This movie is a tribute, and even Brian told me this. I picked this up pretty early when the show started, so I got just 1 second to talk to him real quick, and basically, and I'm going to agree with him. Actually, he did this. He said, "This is my tribute to USA Up All Night," with like Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. They had like Attack of the Party Nerds and things like those movies. So this is kind of it's an homage to those movies. And the way I explained it is that it's an homage to those movies with emphasis on the things edited out and blurred out. because you knew you were missing nipples on USA Network on Saturday night. You knew you were missing some nudity and some language and stuff. Well, he makes sure that he's got you covered. You know, he moves that right in there. But I will say one thing: this is not a what's an old-fashioned word? Nasty. This is all taken with good fun. It's a silly movie, and there's some boobs bouncing around, but it's not super erotic, you know, or anything like that. It literally is more like kind of a fun comedy, a sex comedy, you know, in a way. Here's the thing, though. I just gotta say something. Ellie Church she's just fantastic. I mean, she is a really, really good actress. I mean, she's in this movie standing out. And she's a lovely woman, but there's a bunch of lovely women in the movie. It's just that the woman can act. I mean, she really can. And to have your husband directing you and stuff, it's like, whew, you know. There's like, to me, like, I didn't sit there crying, laughing at it. It was humorous, and there was some good gags in it, but it doesn't take itself real serious, which makes it easy to take. That comedy, fun sex comedy type of thing, you know. So it's just three women who need to power their spaceship, and their spaceship is powered with sexual energy. So they land in some farm, and there's like a farm boy who's never known the touch of a woman, you know. And so you can see where it goes from there. And they end up at a strip club trying to get the sexual energy, you know, to power their spaceship and stuff. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's not taking itself seriously. Yeah. The monsters are ridiculous rubber foam, you know, triangle monsters look like, they almost look like SpongeBob characters in a way, you know, so, but, it's very interesting. It's just, it's good. I would pick it up. If you like those old USA Up All Night movies and stuff, you know, I mean, this is fun. This is nothing like Plank Face or something like that, which are more hardcore kind of films.
Sure.
It's definitely a lot more fun. Again, like I said, wasn't like I was watching the Marx Brothers, like with tears coming down my eyes, but it was humorous and enjoyable and fun to watch. I recommend, you know, picking it up. If you like boobs, this is like Gone with the Wind.
Oh, yes, I do.
If you like boobs and like, it's more that kind of like, if you like boobs bouncing up and down, there might be a world record. Might be a world record in this film. Not sure, but all done in good fun. So congrats, Brian, on another, and Ellie on another film being made through, I believe it's called Bandit Pictures. I believe it's called. And Mostly Harmless Films and Bandit Pictures, I believe, were their companies. So congrats to them getting another one out. Again, looking forward to see what they do next.
Sure.
So, not too bad, though.
Yeah,
I think you might enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah, let's see. Real quick here, I'll run through, and I know you got a few things backed up you want to talk about. Angio and I watched Tombstone from 1993. That was fun. That's a fun Western. Reminds you why Val Kilmer's rich, or was rich, because he's fantastic in that film, as is everyone in that movie. I'm sure you've seen Tombstone, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I like Tombstone.
Yeah.
I know I watched it recently within the last, I'd say 6 months. And it's a fine movie. Just great. Yeah, and Val Kilmer just shines out. I mean, they all are good. There's, you know, such good actors. You got, you know, Sam Elliott, too, and, you know, he's really good. And
right.
And you just can't go wrong with Kurt Russell. Ever.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Ever. In anything, really, almost, you know. Well, Big Trouble in Little China.
I don't like. Yeah, we'll move on. Let's move on. Let's see here. Next up, Harley, Angio and I watched a Hitchcock movie. Watched Spellbound, which I believe was 1945. Didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it was 1945 with Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck in it. Kind of a psychological.
I'm not sure I've seen that.
It's good. It's like a psychological mystery, and who is who, and the guy has amnesia. Gregory Peck has amnesia. You can't remember who he is. He might be a villain. Doesn't even know. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And there is a dream sequence in it that's designed by Salvador Dali. So it's kind of dreamy. Kind of dreamy.
I was just say it's definitely got to be dreamy or spacey.
Let's see. I watched a film. I went back and watched something I hadn't seen for a little bit, which ties into something else we've talked about in the last couple of months. I watched the movie by Lucio Fulci called Don't Torture a Duckling. Now,
What?
if you remember correctly, I told you I watched a movie called The New York Ripper, where the killer was a black glove giallo killer who talked like and quacked like a duck. Right? When he killed people. And I said it had a vague, if any, connection to an earlier film, Don't Torture a Duckling. And there was a Donald Duck toy at a murder scene. It's a child murder movie, child killer movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. You can kind of see that in Fulci's messed up mind, he made a connection. I think people were making stretches myself. There's just happened.
Yeah.
The guy's a Duck fan. I don't know. Maybe like the Mighty Ducks. I have no idea. But Don't Torture a Duckling was actually pretty creepy. I mean, some of these, not saying they show a lot of murders like on the actual screen, but when they find the corpses of kids, boy, they don't hold back too much on this one. So
really,
yeah, it's got some rough moments, but not too bad though. I actually enjoyed it better this time than last time I saw it. I watched 2 riff tracks. One with, believe it or not, our good friend DVD Bob and Jerry from Synapse. The 3 of us watched the riff tracks. Actually, I think Ryan might have been with us too, from old Nashville. We watched the colorized riff tracks of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Really?
Yeah, I watched that in the room. That was good.
Wow.
That was good. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah. And then Angio
There's
and
a lot to work with.
Oh yeah, lots of it. And then Angio and I last night watched the colorized version of Reefer Madness.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know,
Were you on the reefer, Tim?
Well, we're gonna leave that over there. We'll talk about that off air. But I've seen this riff tracks and Mystery Science Theater a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I made me chuckle a few times, but it wasn't as laugh out loud as the last few times I remember it. The one thing about Reefer Madness that I guess I'd never noticed or forgot, the judge in Reefer Madness is the same judge from the Three Stooges classic short Disorder in the Court.
Really?
Yeah. The classic one where they're in the courtroom and everything. Yeah. And it's the same judge. Wow, that one blew me away. I didn't realize that would be the same guy. And then Harley, finally, I've been waiting to talk to you about this. Now, it's been a while since me and you have been on the show together.
Yeah.
You've been playing hooky with pneumonia. Likely story.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever.
Ammonia.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I've been watching some bad sequels, and I threatened to watch this film, and I did. So Ben Harley, because we're going to talk about this for a second till we get to your little, what you've seen here. I watched Jaws: The Revenge.
Oh,
I did it.
Good God. Good God Almighty!
Can I quote Michael Caine?
Sure.
From about this
Please
movie.
do.
So Michael Caine said about this movie, I've never seen it, but by all accounts, it's terrible. However, I've seen the house that it built, and it's terrific.
I bet.
So funny he made up it.
Beautiful quote.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And now it's set in the Bahamas, but this thing, I found a couple of things that were interesting to me. One is it was set in the Bahamas, but it was shot in Oahu at Turtle Bay.
Oh, okay.
Ben Harley, me and Angio stayed at Turtle Bay in Oahu. So it was shot at the same place that we stayed at. Yeah. It was shot there and around there. Yeah. So like the place they're at, the resort, that's where we stayed one time. A couple other things I've noticed, and I know you want to say a few things about Jaws: Revenge just because it pisses you off to hear it even exists. Mario Van Peebles in one scene, something I've missed. He's on the CB with Mike, and I think Mike might be underwater. And Mario Van Peebles actually goes, but. Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. That's like the 6th wall that was broken. Right there. But listen, honestly, about this movie now, I've been going back watching bad sequels, trying to give them a shake, trying to remember why they're so bad. And I think we can agree that there's actually a couple of well shot moments in this movie.
Sure.
But there's zero suspense. I mean, zero suspense really whatsoever.
I think at the beginning, there's a little bit when doesn't Sean Brody get attacked at the beginning?
Yeah. That's not the worst moment. Yeah. In the Jaws films. That's for sure. But it's just bad editing. I mean, bad music, awful script. and start.
Oh yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
Who the hell thought that this script was worth putting all the money into? Some of these people that make these decisions. The shark itself, it's about as convincing as the movie Great White. They might have used the shark from Great White. It actually like moves really slow, and it wobbles and tips back and forth.
Yeah,
and they make it so obvious that the effect is dragging a rubber shark behind a boat.
Yes,
they're making it so you can see the rope. That's
exactly what I thought when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh my god, it's painful, painful."
It hasn't gotten any better.
Timo. Oh no, and I was so excited when this came out because I was like, "Oh, they got Michael Caine in it.
Yeah,
they got a pretty decent cast. This is gonna be great." No. Oh man. Oh no. God awful. It's like. And just the ending itself, like it actually comes out of the water so she can ram the boat into it, is just, oh my.
Yeah. Now, you saw it in the theater, right?
So bad. Yes, sir.
So you saw the same ending that I saw. You saw the ending where they pierced the shark and the shark bled and fell down the bottom, right? And Mario Van Peebles did not live. You can't find that hardly anywhere anymore. They reshot it. You want to know what? The reaction to that movie was so bad. I read this. The reaction to that movie was so bad. They started reshooting that ending 6 days after the movie was released in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
So the ending where it explodes and they steal scenes from the first Jaws. Because that's the first Jaws. They're stealing the shark. So all that and Mario Van Peebles surviving. Are you serious? Yeah. Like you actually see
pretty bad.
Yeah, you actually see his dangling, bleeding body getting taken under the water by a shark. Ben Harley, this is not a tame shark. It wasn't giving him a love bite. Okay,
no, it was going to devour him.
A shark clamps its jaws down over your rib cage. The odds of your survival are slim to none. Okay.
Right. Especially the size of the shark, in these movies. Like, come on.
Yeah. So
God, that's a terrible film.
Whew, boy, I'm telling you right now, that was Stinky McGillicuddy.
Oh, Jesus. That movie, like, it killed that franchise. It did. You know what I mean? It did. It just, that was it. That was the death of that franchise. It just, how do you, excuse my language, how do you F up? Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. How the hell can you take something like that and screw it up so bad? But they did it. They actually really did it. You know what I mean? And,
right.
And the whole fact, but for me, the whole, fact that the shark is seeking revenge, and that's so like the third generation.
Right.
Shark is seeking revenge against the Brody family.
Right.
Wow.
Right. We all know the legendary long-term memory of fish, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
You can meet, if you have a pet goldfish, you can meet it for the first time every time it turns around because it doesn't know who the hell you are. It doesn't care. It just knows you're sprinkling little flakes on the top of the water that's edible to it. It does not care at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It has not gotten any better. It has not gotten any better. I just wanted to let you know it's coming. I'm sure it hasn't. Misery Loves Company. Okay. You're getting it, and you're going to like it.
And I'll watch it. Too.
You will watch it probably too. But actually, you can go on YouTube just so you know, because I actually did after I watched it, I went on YouTube they show you the original ending we saw in theaters. So I honestly think it's at least a little better because it isn't Mario. The damn shark exploding and Mario Van Peebles surviving is just bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. So just bad idea. Just leave it the way it is. It wasn't going to make the rest of the movie any better. The last 10 seconds of the film wasn't going to make up for the other hour and a half. It just wasn't going to happen. So, all right. Well, you've been sick with the pneumonias up in your lung pieces and doing stuff. What do you got? I'm sure you got a few things you want to discuss with me. Throw it at me.
Oh, geez, Timo. Yeah, I've been stockpiling stuff here. All right. So let me check, buddy. Let me pick and choose a little bit here. Well, Timo, this one I know we talked about, or I mentioned that I wanted to talk about, but I wanted a little extra space.
Gotcha.
This movie has always befuddled me ever since I was a kid. I don't know where I stand on it. And I guess after watching it again, I still don't know where I stand on it.
You're, of course, speaking about Hudson Hawk, right?
Yeah, so Timo, you nailed it. No, this is a little movie, called Neighbors.
Oh, okay.
Starring John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Now, when this movie came out, I remember it kind of being somewhat of a big deal, you know. But it seems like every time I come across this movie, either it's been long enough that I forget what the hell happened before, and it's just, this movie for me is an enigma, I guess. I don't know how to take this movie, and I still, after watching it again, don't know what to make of it.
Right.
So yeah, at the time period when this movie came out, Timo, Aykroyd and Belushi both were big actors.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to say Belushi was a little bit more.
I think they were just coming off the Blues Brothers, weren't they? Because the Blues Brothers was 1980, and I believe Neighbors was 81.
Yeah, and I don't think there was ever, at the time when I saw the Blues Brothers, there was ever a funnier movie to me.
It's great.
I mean, I just remember crying, laughing so hard. But like this movie, and God bless them, because I think after watching it this last time, I appreciate Belushi doing the straight man, I guess, role in this. But I just don't know how to take this movie. I don't know where it's coming from. Now, does that sound strange to you? It's just one of those movies for me that I just don't know what to do with it.
No,
because
what to
think of it.
It's the reason that it was such a big deal was because it was so hard for people to understand and take. It's such a black comedy. I mean, such a black comedy that it's hard for people to take. I mean, Belushi almost died making it. So when he was in the quicksand, that's a legendary story. They had his feet weighted so that he would sink at a certain rate, and it was wrong, and he almost died when he was in that quicksand and stuff. There's just a lot of different stories like that, but I remember it. I remember adults when I was a kid talking about the film and debating it. I mean, it was just a hard one to swallow for a lot of people. I mean, it's look, I like the movie. Part of it's the nostalgia of a controversial film from when I was a kid. I think I actually get it a lot more now than I did before. But as far as
I do too,
if you spend the movie trying to understand what kind of film it is, it's almost impossible.
It passes you.
It does. It does. And it's almost like an Italian film. You just have to go with it. And if you find something humorous, then laugh. If you don't, then just stare at it blankly. I mean, it's kind of one of those deals. But I know what you're saying, though. I mean, I enjoy the film for the artistic value of it much more, say, than the entertainment. But it kind of reminds me of a whimsical, like, Twilight Zone, extended Twilight Zone episode about two neighbors. Does that make sense to you? It's just
weird. Yeah, I can understand, because it is just weird, and it's funny because I just don't know how to take it. I still don't, what I mean? And that's okay. Maybe that's what's good about it. I don't know. But, yes, Timo. So then I watched a little movie starring a bunch of guys that became great actors, called The Outsiders.
Oh, that's a good
recently.
One.
Yeah. My mom, taught language arts, 7th, 8th grade language arts. And this was a book that she taught, every year.
S.E. Hinton,
and
right?
So, yes. Yeah. So I had kind of a little insight on that, and she used to play the movie, but, I've always liked it. I will say, watching it this time, I saw a lot of the pimples on it, but it has aged well and it hasn't.
Right.
It's still, I think it's still a good movie. I just look at it kind of silly sometimes because of who some of these guys, have become, with some of them have gone on to great things, over the years, but I tell you what, I don't know if there's ever been a movie chock full of more talented people at one time. You know what I mean? Too, like, not that I think they all went on to be super talented, but they've all had pretty decent
But they all went on to be super famous.
Yes. Exactly. There you go. All right, Timo, this isn't very horror-esque, but this movie has a special spot in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch it every so many years, I guess. And I think it is a fantastic film starring one of the greatest actors of our generation. And this is called Benji the Dog.
Gotcha.
I love this movie. I swear to God, you know what? And I think this movie still holds up. I'll throw it in every so often, and I mean, growing up, having the name Ben or
Right.
Benji, how many times I heard Benji the dog? Oh yeah, real funny, real ha ha ha.
Right.
But I really enjoy this movie, and it's funny because it has some, it has some decent actors in it too, But man, I like that movie, and I just enjoyed it the other day. Kind of something a little bit lighthearted.
Was it the original one
And
from the 70s?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And I tried to watch the second one.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Does not, and I know they did a couple other ones, but yeah, it's it really was fun to watch the other day, and I need a little bit more fun in my life.
Yeah. I think I saw those. I know I saw at least one or two of them, like at the drive-in.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like I don't remember those movies, and I know I saw them.
Yeah.
It's like Herbie the Love Bug kind of. It's like I know I saw the movies, I just don't remember them. You know what I mean?
The original ones, yeah, I completely. And it's funny because the original one has a great story too. And it actually has some serious scenes in it too that I remember when I was a kid really kind of affected me at the time. You know what I mean? And I can't remember, some of the actors' names, but I know it's got Aunt B, from Andy Griffiths, and Uncle Joe from Petticoat Junction, and he's also been in, a million other things. But the thing is, it's funny because Petticoat Junction had, and I don't know if it's the original Benji the dog, but it had a dog in there. It's just like Benji. I don't know if it's Benji's. It is Benji or his father. Whatever.
Right, I got you.
But and he was, and the dog's funny in that. But what's so funny is, and I'm not kidding you, Benji the dog was like, to me when I was a kid, I was like, that's the smartest dog of all time, and
right.
I swear to God, that dog's a better actor than 70% of the actors and actresses out there.
Yeah.
I ain't kidding. You know what I mean? So, but it was fun to watch. You know what I mean? I just wanted to throw that out there for a little fun for us. But a couple other things real quick, Timo. I know you've probably seen. I watched something the other day on Comet, which was kind of hard to watch, but I had to see it through. It's a little movie called Haunted House of Horrors.
Okay.
Starring one Frankie Avalon.
Haunted House.
And it's a British.
Horrors.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a British movie, and it's about a group of mods, British mods.
Oh, is there like a lot of like bloody murders in it and stuff?
Yeah, kind of. They go to this haunted house or a house, and they have a seance, but they keep returning to this house, and it's just odd because there's one guy, and it's super emo. He's super, and I should have, and about halfway through, I finally was like, that's the killer, that little son of a bitch, right? I know it's him, and sure enough, it ended up being him, little sucker. But
does like the very last scene, does it have like a machete killing? Like a guy's holding a candle, and then there's
it's like a mini machete. It's like one of those like hook type knives, look almost not a Reaper one, but like I don't even know how to explain.
Well,
it.
is it like it's like early 70s like grainy kind of like unwashed haircut and stuff, long bob hair and stuff. Okay, I have seen it a long time ago. It's called Haunted House of Horror. I don't think I saw it under that title. But I get you. I get
something
you.
else. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it was okay, but it was just really painful kind of to watch. To me, it just was like, oh God, like I know I don't like the police sirens from England or wherever they're from.
Or how their damn phones ring. Yeah.
Oh God, there was one part in particular at the end, like it was almost like nails on a chalkboard to some. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, but that was it for me. Just the combination of the ending and then the sirens from the bobbies or whatever. I don't know. I was just like, oh my God, I wanted to smash my head against the table. Like it's just to me some of that stuff. And the ending's just so like, wait, what just happened?
Right.
Type thing. Like, all I know is Frankie Avalon was in it, and, and I thought, poor guy.
Right. I have seen it, but it's under the title. The other title is Horror House, and Haunted House of Horror was the original title. It was actually shot in 1969 but it looks like it was released in 1970. I remember late
Yeah.
when I used to watch my mom and pop TV show stations late at night. That one was one of them that was on. And I remember it being kind of like, it kind of creeped me out a little bit. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
When I turned it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's Comet, huh? Comet's playing that movie now too, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They've
Good for
been playing
Comet.
some really good things lately, you know, that there was, God, there's another one that was very bizarro, like Daughter of Dracula or something. And it was almost uncomfortable because
The old black and white one?
No, it's a color one, but like it's very English or whatever, or Spanish or whatever, but like it's got this young girl who plays Dracula's daughter or whatever, and they black it out, or blur it out, which I was happy with because this kid, she can't be more than 15 years old. Like, and there's some very uncomfortable, like lesbianic scenes too, that I was just like, man, I and the movie itself was just like real slow and hard to watch, but they've been playing that lately, and it came on again yesterday, and I was like, no, I can't do it, you know, it was that bad, you know, type thing. But there's a few other things, Timo, but I think, you know, I'll save these because there's some things that I know you and I both would, and there'll be a lot longer to talk about, and a couple things that are near and dear to our hearts,
right? That
might make us a little angry, and I know it might make you angry, but it'll make for some good conversation.
Good.
So I will save them for next week. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, this is a part of the show where historically we have always played a song, and I've said that I'm getting a little tired of songs, and well, I don't know. I think I've heard a little rumblings here or there.
Yeah.
We're gonna give the Showdown podcast a little shout out here.
Yeah.
And I think tell you right now, Horror Hound gentleman from that podcast came up and said, I missed the songs. It broke everything up. I'm like, okay. You know, so that's one thing, but I'm getting a little bit of a backlash. I think people are digging the song. So I'm not going to do a song this week, okay? But as we get through Halloween, we'll start back up. Let's say this, like our Halloween show, we'll start back up doing some tunes. How about that?
Sure.
We always have a nice special song for Halloween, and we'll start kind of getting into some rock and some Christmassy rock, which we've also doing that. We know what we do around Christmas. Your favorite stuff.
Yes, I do.
The little Christmas punk rock music. And so we will get back to playing songs. I'm just not prepared yet. So we'll be doing that here in the next couple weeks, or a few weeks, maybe a month from now. We'll get back to it. Speaking of that, Ben Harley, a little announcement here. I've been musically pretty damn busy.
Yes, you have, buddy.
Fragile Porcelain Mice.
Good for you. And good for music, too.
Thank you. Fragile Porcelain Mice to be playing October 28th in Springfield, opening for our friends Nihilate, returning the favor. They've been coming up, opening for us. We're going to drive up there. It's only like an hour and a half away. We're going to go up there. We're going to play with them. And Ultraman, man, are we busy? We've got, let's see, Lawrence. We have a show at the Outhouse, or not the Outhouse. There's a documentary about an old club there called the Outhouse. They're going to show that documentary. And we are playing the after party at, the Bottleneck. Sorry, it took me a second. I'm trying to think of all the clubs that play. That's the Bottleneck right there. We are actually playing.
Been a lot of them.
Yeah, we are actually playing with some Ohio natives. We were playing with Toxic Reasons from Dayton.
Nice.
I guess they've been around since
like them Ohio guys.
Oh yeah, I think they've been around almost as long as Ultraman, forever. So
wow,
we're doing that. But the creme de la creme, we are actually opening for the Get Up Kids and the Descendants. Here in town.
That's awesome.
That's October 6th, I think. Yeah, it's a Friday. It's right around there. It's coming up really soon. Coming up real soon. By the time you hear this, it's probably this weekend. So, but looking forward to that. I've never seen Descendants.
That's awesome,
but liked them for a long time.
Yeah, nor have I, my friend. Nor have I.
That'll be a good one. But, Ben Harley, let's get to our official films for this week. First up, from 1962, we have the film Creation of the Humanoids.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. All right, so here we go. I'm going to give you a really short synopsis. Movie guy had the week off last week since DVD Bob was
he
helping
did.
us, so he's back from vacation. How you feel, movie guy? Better. All right, cool. Very good. I sound cranky as usual, so come on in here, movie guy, and give us the synopsis, the very short one-sentence synopsis for the 1962 feature, The Creation of the Humanoids. All right, here we go.
Yes.
In a post-Holocaust society, robots take it on their own to help the dying human race by giving them android bodies. Okie dokie.
Yes, that they did.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. This, Ben Harley, this movie is action-packed if you consider lips moving up and down action.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, I have never seen this movie before. This is the first time
yeah.
I've seen this. I'm sure it's the first time you've seen it. I would hope it's the first time you've seen
sir.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last.
A couple of things real quick. This was Jack Pierce's last film. The makeup guy who did all the Universal, your Wolfman and all that.
Okay.
This was his.
Yeah.
So the one thing I was going to comment before we get into the meat of this movie was that was pretty good. The makeup was good. The contact lenses for the humanoids or androids or whatever, they were downright creepy. I mean, that was a good job. That was one of those humanoids. I think his name was Lagan, was played by one Dudley Manlove, for the infamous alien from Plan 9 from Outer Space who says, "We're stupid. That guy. He's in it. Yeah. This is supposedly one of Andy Warhol's favorite films.
I can see.
Yeah,
that,
the guy who got famous by putting a Campbell soup can in a frame, and that's all it takes. Let's see here. Actually, another one of the, I guess it was one of the androids. Octo was played by. I'm digging here, buddy. I'm digging for you on this one. It was played by a one George Milan. Okay. Who also was Merlin in the Mystery Science Theater classic Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders.
I just saw that recently. It was just
You're on a George Milan freak out. You are.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is now. I'm going to let you take over here for a second, and I'll jump back in. But I just want to start by send you on your way by saying this is my favorite subgenre of robot movie. It is a robot movie, and the robot movie is my favorite. It's just subgenre. So, Creation of the Humanoids. Almost said Humanoids of the Deep. I caught myself there.
That's right.
Creation of the Humanoids. Ben Harley. What did you think?
Whoa, Timo. I think this movie might have probably the most dialogue of any film ever made, except for maybe an infomercial or something like that. But
it makes
wow.
I'll tell you what, it makes My Dinner with Andre look like Walkabout. So,
yeah. I mean, like the beginning was kind of cool. I mean, anything, when you show me a nuclear explosion and things like that, and we're talking about devastation and, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm kind of in. All right.
Right.
But what was really odd about this, it was like I forget how much of the population they said had been killed. Man, they bounced back pretty good. I mean, the human race bounces back great. Like, boy, it didn't stop like the production of anything. It just it seemed like everything was got better for some odd reason. So that really kind of threw me.
Right.
Now the premise of the movie I thought was pretty cool. I'm very, very intrigued and also nervous about machines taking over.
Oh, me too.
I mean,
me
I
too.
really,
straight up.
I think it's
we've seen it. That's why.
Happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's, and it's getting worse and worse, to where I think, it's helped us a lot, but it's also been to the detriment of society in a way too. Right. But with all that being said, the setup was great. I thought, this is not going to be bad. And then the talking started.
Yep.
And they talked and they talked And then they talked a little bit more. And then on top of the talking, they talked even more. And I just like, you know me, Timo. I mean, oh my God. I mean,
had they had shot a fifth of what they talked about, this film would be an action-packed bonanza.
Oh, yeah.
They told you everything that happened and showed you nothing at all. Nothing.
Yeah. And this could have been, I could have watched it I could have listened to this on audio. I could have been an audio tape for me, and it probably would have been just as intriguing, I guess, because, oh my God, Timo, they talk and they talk and they talk. And now, like, the ending itself kind of was somewhat intriguing, but then they talked and then they talked and they talked. And I thought to myself, when is there going to be some kind of action? You know what I mean? Like there is, okay, I take that there. I think there was about 33 seconds of action in the whole film.
Oh, that's when he put his hand in his face. When he put his hand in his face?
Pretty much.
I actually yelled action whenever that happened. He puts his hand in his face because he's upset, the main guy. And I go, oh, there's action. There's action. He bent over. I was like, oh, God, he did something. He moved. I had an arc with this film. This is how I went. I started off going kind of like you. I was like, man, that makeup for 1962. Now, they were just kind of getting comfy with the color and stuff, and they played it well. They played it well. Yeah. It was like, man, the humanoids, they're kind of creepy. Then I kind of realized this isn't exactly action packed. Action packed. Okay. Then I realized I am watching a very, very sleepy version of Blade Runner. I mean, Blade Runner, if it was dinner theater. Okay.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So I went to that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Then I started realizing, I swear I could have sworn the script was written during an alcohol bender between Ed Wood. It was co-written by, actually the movie was co-written by a sober Ed Wood and a drunk Ed Wood. And then they had Kevin Smith come in and give him some pot. Okay. And then he helped a little bit with the script because all they do is talk. And then by the time I sat there and looked at it, I was like, wait, we're in the future, like really far with robots and all this stuff. Yeah. And that guy is packing a dagger. He's packing a dagger. I'm like, all right. And at that point, I was laughing at it. I admit I started laughing at it, and it became very funny to me. Yes. I was actually laughing I was laughing harder than I was laughing at the riff tracks, Reefer Madness last night. I mean, so it got me going. It did. I admit it got me going. I started dying laughing at it. I could not believe all of the dialogue. Can you imagine the running joke if this was on riff tracks? Can you imagine? Oh my God, it might be somewhere.
I think, you had me laughing more, Timo, when you said, good thing there wasn't, a part 2 because I'd have a stroke.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, and I really gave this, you know what, you're going to laugh at me because I watched it twice. I'm like, what the God, I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't miss a damn thing. I didn't miss a damn thing. I just thought to myself, why is this so talky? Like, I mean, for a sci-fi movie, okay, I understand it. I get it. I get what you're trying to hammer home to me. I get it from the human side. I get it from the robot side. Stop talking. Start fighting something, please. Because I was just like, I just couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
I couldn't not.
Show me a spaceship taking off. Anything.
Something. Yeah.
Give me a door that opens on its own.
Yeah. And then the trick ending. Oh God. So you know what, Timo? We might be robots right now. We don't even freaking know. So like, oh God. I'm like. Why people? Why
well, that's the thing. It was like I did. Poor Angio sat through this one. She said she wanted to watch the movies we review because she listens to it. So I make sure she gets to watch them with me every week. And what I told her was, this is just complete Philip K. Dick. This whole story, but it's basically like someone, instead of putting a script together, just handed them all a Philip K. Dick story. And told them to read it to each other because that's it's total Blade Runner. It's total without a lick of action whatsoever. I mean, look, we should have known we were in trouble when the Dr. Raven character came on the scene and he looked just like a Tex Avery cartoon villain.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh my God.
Jesus. I should have known better. Should have known. Look, I'm gonna on the movie, but I have to admit I laughed my ass off at it, but I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this again. Like for any reason whatsoever. Yeah. I've seen it once. I've heard it. I've heard it once. I don't want to hear it again. You know. Yeah. That's. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
All right.
I mean. Oh God! I thought the Phantom Menace was talky. Oh, Jesus!
Well, no, it ain't that bad. Come on, don't cuss it out. Come on, jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jeez. Come on now, let's be real. Right come on, love. This is what are we doing here? Come on.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get to our.
Can you imagine a little kid, real fast? Can you imagine a little kid going and seeing this movie and going like, "Where's the lasers? Like, where's the? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they're probably sleeping. Oh
almost,
my God, almost popcorn at the screen.
Yeah, almost as bad as when Poltergeist was in theaters and my mom wouldn't take me to go see it. So instead, she took me to go see On Golden Pond. And the theater, it was a multiplex, and the theater right next door was playing Poltergeist, and I could hear the thunder. I could hear the thunder from the other side and all this action. And I'm watching Katharine Hepburn going, "Oh, you old poop!" You know?
Yeah.
And I can hear, help me, Steven, go toward the light, you know, and I'm going, oh my God, this is like a nightmare. I hated On Golden Pond until I was an adult because of that.
Poor kid.
Because of that. I love it now. Kid. It's funny, but you know, I hated it. So.
Oh, it's a good movie. Yeah, it really is.
So
you poor kid.
Yeah, but you're right. If I was taken in 1962, I'll tell you what, in 1962, I would have taken my kids to go see that if it was the first on a double feature, the drive-in, because I'd put them to sleep and then I could hang out the rest of the time and not worry about them. So
it reminded me of the first time I saw Firefox in the movie theater. Oh God!
Well, there's more action than Firefox, so but still.
Yeah, in the last 10 minutes.
I know. But all right, let's move on to the next film, Ben Harley. Next official film.
Sure.
Next up, we have from 1989. Mr. Ben Harley, we have the film Curse 2: The Bite.
Electric Boogaloo.
Right. So this is the sequel in title alone to 1987's The Curse.
Title alone.
Yes, which was that the last we reviewed the last show together? We did review the last show together.
Yes.
It's the first Curse. Yeah. So we went on the Curse 2 since it's literally, and no matter what you think of it, you can agree it's a completely different film. Completely different.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, completely different film. So let me get movie guy back out here and let me give you the synopsis for Curse 2: The Bite. All right, here we go.
Yes.
Two young lovers, Clark, J.I.D. Peck, Kyle XY, and Lisa, Jill Shalin, the stepfather, traveling through the desert, unwittingly pass through an abandoned nuclear test site, which has become a breeding ground for deadly mutant killer snakes. When Clark is bitten, he undergoes a grotesque transformation into a hideous snake monster. This chiller filled with slithering horror also stars Jamie Farr, MASH, Sherry Appleby, Roswell, and Bo Svenson. Walking Tall Part 2. Walking Tall Part 2. Come on, give me a better Bo Svenson on the back.
Yeah, come on.
Thing, so. That's pretty much it. There's a bickering kind of couple that are driving through the desert. One gets bit by a radioactive, poisonous, possessed snake. And Jamie Farr thinks it's his fault, and so the couple go around while he starts turning into a snake, and Jamie Farr chases him around trying to give him a antidote that's not going to work worth shit.
No.
Is that it? Is that the movie?
No. That's pretty much it. That's it.
All right. Well, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy.
Yeah. So, but again, this came out. Now, this movie clearly, and I don't know, I'm sure it looked the same on your copy, but clearly this movie was filmed as The Bite. It was not filmed as Curse 2. It had the same producer, that Tentacles guy. Was the same producer. I'm sure they just did that because it looked like it I think it went straight to video. I never saw it playing in a theater. Clearly, it was shot to be shown in a theater. but I don't remember it. So I could have went straight to video distribution here in the States. So that's why they put Curse 2, just to attach it to something else that maybe made a little bit of money. So now you've seen Curse and Curse 2. We know that you really loved Curse. It was like your favorite film of all time. You got younger watching it. It was. So now we got Curse 2, The Bite. Oh, there's a blurb on the front. I didn't even know this. Okay. So okay, well, just real quick before you get going here, here's a blurb. The first bite is the deepest. But technically and theoretically and even practically, that is not true. It's not the deepest.
No, that's Mario Van Peebles.
That's true. Good point. Yeah. So, all right. What did you think of Curse 2, The Bite?
The Bite. Yeah. Well, Tim, I was drawn in pretty quick because first off, there's two things from Toledo in this film. One being the Jeep they were driving around in. Yes. And then also Jamie Farr.
Klinger. Yes.
Yeah, Klinger. He was supposed to be here. He's doing what's that? Something with Maury. The crap. It's a stage play, just the one man play or whatever.
Oh, he's gonna play there. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Huh.
Yeah, but I guess whoever the goofball producer was, whatever, didn't get the permits or whatever the right stuff for some of the Canadian actors, so they had to cancel it. And they were promoting the hell out of it too with him. Oh my God! So,
God, okay.
And luckily I've met Jamie Farr a couple times just in passing. He's always been a really nice guy. I met him on the golf course once. Both times I was working and he wasn't. But yeah, he was a super nice guy. Very welcoming. And he's synonymous with Toledo. So
and Meat TV.
That was kind of cool going.
Meat TV also.
And Meat TV. Yes.
He does a lot of Meat TV spots.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and he really did with him. He promoted the hell out of Toledo on MASH, and really, and it's still one of our namesakes, I guess, for around here is Jamie Farr or whatever. But anyways, I thought this movie started out really cool. Like 5-10 minutes in, I was like, I already enjoyed this more than Curse 1, and even though they're completely different, I think the setup was really cool. And I have always kind of gravitated towards these films like that take place, out, people are driving out in the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? And it kind of, you're a little bit on edge because it's just like, if they're shot well, you can feel the loneliness or the wide open spaces. And like if your car was to break down or there's a hitcher on the road, all these different things.
And it's cheap to film in the desert. It's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes it easier. Yeah.
And it's funny though, because there's one part where they do stop at a gas station, and the guy's like, there's not another gas station for all these miles. And DVDs don't hide, or Blu-rays do not hide much anymore. And it's funny because he's talking to this, gentleman, and you're supposed to be kind of nervous, but you can see in the background, like, like businesses and trucks and things like that way in the background, and it really took from it. But, I just kind of laughed it off. Right. But like I said, I was into this movie. I'd say for the first half hour for me was really good. I enjoyed it. I liked where it was going. It was cool. Jamie Farr was in it. I thought the acting was good. What's her name? The main character. I like her. She's always, I like her. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I do too.
And I just was I was along for the ride, and then the guy starts to transform, and from that point on, like this movie to me was just laughable and god awful. Are you
telling me you can tell me how they pulled off the effect with the snake on the end of his hand? Are you telling me you can explain how they did that? Come on, before CG.
Right.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I just thought to myself, wait, no, this guy's got a snake for a hand. Like Timo, it got so bad. I was hoping for more because when I was younger, that movie.
I actually wrote that down here in my notes. It does sort of remind me of that in that it's a transformation type of movie.
Right. And I enjoyed that movie. When I was a kid, that movie kind of scared me, and I liked the transformation of him becoming a snake and stuff like that. This was the opposite for me. I'm like, holy shit. You mean he's got a snake for a hand now? And like,
I got a snake.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just, I mean, for me, it was like they took a pretty good movie with a decent premise and just shit on it. Like, I mean, to me, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse till the end where I was just like, wow, what did I just witness? I mean, wow, I felt bad for Jamie Farr. I felt bad for whoever that jackass was that made the snake at the end.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I was just like, woo. I don't know, Tim. I don't know I don't know.
Well, the effects was Screaming Mad George, and he's a pretty well-known effects guy. Yeah. Sidney Lassick is in this too, and a really like non-thankful role at all. You know, it's just like he's like a dude in the movie, basically. My feeling is that at 97 minutes, it could have been trimmed to about 90, and I think that 7 minutes would have made it more solid and tight. But it's still slow. I think personally, I think it's less fun than the first one, a little bit.
Sure.
But I gotta say that I wasn't really the last 15 minutes. Now, wait, when you watched it, I told you before you watched it. Did you at the the last 10 minutes? Were you keeping in mind those Old Spice commercials where the moms were slithering around like snakes and they were going like through like the bowling ball return and stuff? Was I right? Did you see where he was going down the pipe when he was trying to slither without the effects, the help of effects? Yeah, going through there. So, I actually liked the last. I'm the opposite of you. Like I was kind of like, okay. I mean, I like Jill Shalin, but you know, there's other movies I can watch her in. She's in a lot of movies, you know. Yeah. And she kind of reminds me of Winnie from the Wonder Years. That the girl, and I know we all had a little crush on her. Because we were at that age where she was. We were at the same age or whatever. So that's okay, but I just kind of thought it was just a little slow. And then at the last 10 minutes, he really snaked out. And when he really snaked out, then at least I had I know, but at least I had something to look at. You know, at least I had something that was like going on. And I actually thought the effects at the very end weren't that bad. Not for 1989 or whatever it was. It was like low budget, you know. I was like, well, you know, it's like it's all right, you know, but at the same time, it's still it's a bit of a poop. I didn't poop on the first curse, but I don't think I did. At least I got close. The interesting thing about this is that now you know this is also Italian, right? Nobody knows, but it's the same producer as Tentacles. But even the director was named Fred Goodwin, if that is his real name, which it is not his real name. The real name of the director was Federico Prosperi. That was the name of and he was the producer and writer of Wild Beasts, which is an Italian film where somebody slips LSD in a zoo water supply and all the animals go nuts and attack the city. And I remember there's a big polar bear thing, I think, at the end where he's going through a school, like eating children. Because I think the kids also get the LSD up in them and they become rabid or something. So it sounds great, but trust me, if you watch it, you'd be like, how the fuck do they fuck this up? You know? It's like, but I'm gonna have to curse you. Look, I've always had a problem with both these movies. I've always thought like they should be a lot better than they are. I mean, really. And maybe it is the Italian thing trying to be too American that makes it uncomfortable.
Maybe. Yeah, because, you know, for me, Timo, it's like especially the last half hour. So it's just, and I hate to be like this, but these are the type of movies that make me embarrassed to be a horror fan. Like, I just, they do. I mean, like, because the guy at the end, you know, he's like, you know, her boyfriend, he's puking snakes and just like, he's slithering down that thing. Like she could have walked at a snail's pace,
right,
and still got away from this thing, you know. And then like it just, to me, the final snake was the final straw for me too. I was like, oh God, what is that? Because like his head peels back And that looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff, you're right. But then this thing comes out. It looks like something from HR Puff and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
really? That's what you came in. This is the final snake that you're trying to, I was embarrassed, man. I was just, so all I can really do, I mean, the first half of this movie I did enjoy, but the second half is just I can't take it. I can't take it,
Right.
and I felt bad for Jamie Farr. And I thought the next time I meet Jamie Farr, I'm going to ask him about this movie. So how you feel about it?
Yeah.
And
he'll probably tell you the same
get
thing
punched in
Michael
the
Caine
face.
did. It's like, well, I never seen the movie,
Yeah.
but I heard it's terrible. However, I've seen the house it built and it's terrific. Yeah, so, all right. Well, it's
Timo.
two poop. Those are poops all around, right? Like that's
Yes.
like
I can't.
we're digging in some region of films here that we should not be looking at all.
Right.
Now, in fairness, I've never seen Creation of Humanoids. I have seen Curse to the Bite a few times. Back in the late 80s, early 90s when it came out. Yeah, no, well, at the time when you had, think of that 1989, 1990, the horror coming out then. This was right in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It was no different than a lot of shit coming out at that time. So it wasn't that off.
And you got that right, shit. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and this was just a passable time waster at the time, it's odd though, there's strengths that this one has that the first Curse doesn't have. Like, this is more linear. It's more of a tighter story.
Yeah.
It's produced tighter. It's just also kind of bland when it doesn't need to be bland in things. So anyway, two poops for Curse 2, The Bite, 2 poops on Creation of the Humanoids. So you know what? Period. So, but two grape apes up, huge grape apes up for Ben Harley's improving health. So we will.
Thank you,
Yes.
Timo. Yeah, I'm glad to be back and on the men's because it's been a shitty summer for me as far as usually I get sick every other year, and I got sick twice within months of each other.
Well, let's keep you away from these movies to keep your health up. How about that?
Yeah, it could be it. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, let's get out of here. So till next week, Ben Harley, stay spooky. We'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.